This is Unit 13 context, the final major project gig planning role. So the first question is, what is your role in planning your final major project gig? So I am actually the tech team leader. So I've got a team of Hamish Irving, Sam James George, Kyle Legg, James Lewis, Alex Lister, Reese Morgan, Hannah Foskey, and myself, and Oren Thomas and Kieran Bird. So I've put them in sort of groups of what will need to be done on the day and sort of up to planning wise. So I've sort of overseen everything that's going to happen. So it's sort of involved. So a couple of the jobs are sort of like finding out how we do get the equipment from where it is at the moment to the venue. So I'm providing the drum kit. So Kieran, who I put in charge of transport, has asked me sort of how I'm going to get it there, and I'm going to drop it there on the day. Same with the cymbals and everything. So that's even down to the minor details of cymbal stands and stuff like that. Whereas I've got people like Hamish and Hannah who will be on the door on the night and sort of helping sort of when Kieran does get the car there with any other equipment they can't get there, to offload it from the car and onto the stage. Next question is, what other roles or responsibilities are there? So as I said, I'm tech team leader, so I've got a couple of groups. So there were a couple of jobs that needed to be done, so I had to find out sort of the size of the O2 stage and sort of how big and everything was, and so I set a group on to that. I set another group on to finding out what equipment we needed to find and who would have that equipment. I set another group finding out sort of other responsibilities, such as sort of what the stage plan was for each band and what their lighting was, and so on and so forth. There was another side of the FMP gig that you could have chosen as either the tech team or you could have been on the marketing team, but I'm in charge of the tech team. I'd say I didn't really pick the role, but I was chosen probably because I took quite a big lead from the start and from the offset, sort of determining what sort of equipment we will need to get there. I've got quite a bit of equipment myself, so I knew that would probably come in handy as well. So my drum kit's being used as well as my bass amp, and then so on and so forth. So the tech team leader role involves a lot of stuff prior to the gig, so a lot of preparation, including, as I said, finding equipment and assigning other people job roles, and then it will also sort of mean a lot on both nights that we are performing. So I'll have to make sure that whoever is on next, or whenever their next song is. So say if Lara was singing and then she needed a guitar next, then I would have to know in my head that I need to get the guitar on to Lara, and then obviously I'll have I made groups for sort of planning, and then I made groups for on the night as well. So on the night I've got sort of a team of guitar techs that will tune guitars and everything. I've got someone watching the drum kit in case anything happens, or swapping cymbals around, or so on and so forth. And I've got sort of groups assigned to each part of the stage, so they can sort that out. The next, what other responsibilities will have to be considered at the gig? So I think the marketing team, we're going to sort of have a look at selling merchandise and stuff like that. So selling stickers, selling food, drink, and everything like that. So that can be another sort of responsibility that is available there. But we've also got sort of people on the door, sort of welcoming people in. But that's more for the O2 gig, but not the actual assess gig. What effect has the pandemic had on gigs / music scene? So the pandemic has kind of killed off a lot of the Oxford music scene, but I think it's the same pretty much anywhere. So as soon as COVID has sort of gone, then I think it would probably sort of come back to life again. But at the moment there aren't any sort of gigs going on, so it's affected quite a few people. How will it affect the planning of this gig? COVID-19 has definitely affected the planning of this gig, because we weren't too sure where we were going to be for the assess gig and then for the not assess gig as well. So the assess gig has ended up being in college, So we will be assessed on that one. So sort of they're going to judge us on our performance and sort of interaction aspects, and obviously like how good our music sounds. Another part that would be different, yeah, so we'll be there. And then whereas in the O2 it's more of a laid back, we don't have to obviously we have to perform well, but we aren't being assessed on it, so it's all more about sort of giving the audience a better time. How will the final major college gig differ from the O2 gig? Yeah, so just goes back to what I'm saying. The final major college gig will sort of it would affect yeah, it would affect sort of, so we'll be assessed at college, and then we won't be assessed at the O2. So yeah. What other job roles / responsibilities will be at the O2? Yeah, so as I said, we'll have people on the door. We'll have need to find bar staff and sort of sound engineers. But that comes when we hire the venue, I think. So we'll just have to look at sort of booking the staff for that. We will also have to find sort of sound engineers. Yeah, I said sound engineers, and then people to sell tickets as well.